Hey guys, as promised, here's my review of the notorious 1976 film Salo. Um, I've heard so much about this film, of how fucked up it is, how notorious it is, how crazy and insane it is, how like it's the most disturbing film you could ever watch. I went into the film with that knowledge in my mind, and I think instead of giving a review of it, I'll just give you my thought process as I'm watching the film. And as the film starts off, it's actually not that bad. You know, there's some nudity, but otherwise that's as bad as it really gets for the most part early on in the film. The first part where I start to say, what the fuck, was there's this one scene where they have a whole bunch of a dinner sequence, and they have naked women serving their food on the tables, act kind of like busboys. And one of the soldiers trips a girl, and while she's down on the ground, he starts raping her. Now, I've seen rapes in films before. This one isn't bad, you know. But what follows is one of the main characters, one of the aristocrat type of guys, gets up and starts showing everyone it's his ass. Pulls his pants down and is like, hey, look at my ass. Of course it's in Italian. And he bends down right next to her and goes, now do me! And I'm like, what the hell? It's set up into three parts. A circle of obsessions, which is easy to get through. I mean, it's not anything overly crazy or psychotic or disturbing. If you've seen enough films like I have, it'll be easy to get through. However, part two I had a hard time getting through. I'm still laughing thinking about it. The second circle is the circle of shit. The name gives it all away. And that's exactly what it is. One scene, this one guy bends down, takes a shit right on the floor, and goes, Mangia! Of course, mangia is Italian for eat it. Now, at this point, I can barely look at the screen because, like, I can see a lot of graphic stuff in movies, but fecal matter eating just doesn't do it for me. I cannot look at it. And like in the Pink Flamingos, when the dog shit gets eaten, I'm like, oh god. The whole time during the circle of shit, I'm like, get this fucking shit off the TV. It was torture. I felt like I should be wearing that contraption that Malcolm McDowell wore in A Clockwork Orange with the eyes. Because that was the only way you could keep my eyes open during that. I was like, no way! And that's just the start of it. It gets worse. Oh my god, is that horrible. So that was really the only sequence which I had a lot of trouble getting through. But once that's over, we're up to Circle 3, which is the Circle of Blood. As you can probably tell, it's somewhat based on Dante's Inferno. Instead of 9 circles, it's only 3. And this one is, well, there's still a little bit of shit left in it. It's like, if the circle of shit wasn't graphic and horrible enough, it carries slightly over into Circle of Blood. This is when it starts to get really bloody, obviously, but graphic violently. It's when there's this voyeuristic torture scene where you see people being scalped and eyes gouged out, and people being hot branded with an iron, and it's definitely graphic. And when I say, when you see it, it's not like the Hollywood cutaway thing where you see someone with a hot iron about to poke them, then you cut to a reaction. No, you see it. A tongue gets cut off, you see the blood. Oh, it's so horrible. But like I said, I've seen a lot of graphic things before, so this was real. Circle of Blood was easy to get through. Like I said, it's only circle of shit. I'm like, get that away from me. As horrible and terrible and despicable as this film is, I enjoyed it. I mean, I cannot lie and say I didn't like it. The film, I think you got a great film on its intentions. Like, this film is supposed to shock you and horrify you, and it did exactly that. Mainly with the circle of shit, though. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be in terms of the other two parts of the film, Circle of Obsessions and Circle of Blood. But I can't recommend this film to anyone who does not have a strong stomach. You gotta really be, like, you gotta view films like A Clockwork Orange and the Saw films as in, like, the PG type of easiness to get through. Like, I can watch A Clockwork Orange in my, like, no problem at all. There's some people out there that can't watch that film because, like, oh man, I've always wondered why the hell is that, because Clockwork Orange is probably the easiest to sit through in terms of films that are considered graphic. It's one of my favorite films. But I'll give you a look at this and their contents. Got a good booklet on it, bunch of essays. I really liked the second disc, hearing people's reviews of the film, including Bernardo Bertolucci gave his viewpoints on the film. And how sickening is this? How would you like that staring at you? I don't know if you can see it though. Yeah, do this. If you can, I can't think of a good film to compare it to. I'd say Caligula. I mean, this is far worse than Caligula. Caligula is straight out porn, a Roman epic with porn spliced in, but it's just as violent and graphic in terms of its violence as Salo. Actually, I think Salo is a little worse, but I think if you can sit through Caligula, like, just fine, you have no problems with it. Nothing with, like, Stomach Ass Man or castrating the guy or anything like that in Caligula. You could be able to get through Salo okay, I think. This film, I had the expectation that it was going to be more graphic sexually. I mean, there's nudity and there's only implied sex. I mean, if you consider this a porno, you are a sick fuck. I mean, I was not aroused at all watching this. Even when it, it's just naked girls. Even that wasn't enough. Like, even when there's nothing crazy and sickening and disturbing going on in the film, it's still not arousing at all. So you're not going to get hard on watching this. That's my observation. Especially when you see people eating shit and pissing on someone else's face. Oh my god. Like I said, it sounds like I don't like the film, but I actually really do. It's one of those... After watching it, I found that it really sticks in my brain. Like, it's been in my brain, and it's the kind of film that you walk out watching and it's like, wow, that was despicable and horrible. But the more you think about it, it's like, that was actually a pretty good film. If you got the stomach for it, I recommend checking it out, but otherwise, stay far away. Well, see you later.